Hello there. Happy Saturday afternoon. It is early in the afternoon on Saturday, February the 4th, and I am just popping on here for a few minutes to say hello. Hope you're having a great day so far. And just wanted to give you a quick update on a community post that I put out the on my community tab on the channel. And just to see how you're doing, I'm only going to be here for a few minutes, but wanted to prompt a community discussion about a topic that I've really been thinking about for some time, and that is the subject of blind buys. So, want to get into that in just a moment because I really want to get your thoughts on your philosophy when it comes to blind buying. Are you into blind buying? Do you try to stay away from blind buying or buying titles that you're not familiar with? Do you just stick with titles that you're familiar with based on films you've seen? Or do you like to discover new films like I do and new directors that you've never heard of? So, want to get your thoughts on that and your thoughts from this awesome community. Now, I do want to share with you that I do have the results of my community poll that I put out, and I'm going to show that in just a moment. But I am just really excited to have this wonderful Saturday afternoon. I see that we have Traveling Man out there. How are you doing, Traveling Man? I'm doing great. Hope you're doing well as well. And I know that a lot of people are out and about today. I'm just literally popping on as a surprise. I don't think I've ever done this before. This is a first for me. This is a 20th and 21st movies first. So this is an exclusive if you happen to be on here. But if you're not on here, you can catch this on a replay. So again, I just wanted to come on here for a few minutes and talk about blind buying and talk about the results of my community post. And then I'm gonna pop off here. I gotta take my son over to the gym to get a workout in and everything and take care of some other Saturday affairs. So hope you are all having a great day as well. But let me go ahead and show the results of the community question that I put out. So I put out a little question to the community last night, Friday evening, getting ready to head into the weekend, and I am so happy. I mean, y'all, it has been a pretty long week. So the weekend is a great time to kind of relax, kick back a little bit, have some time with family, relax a little bit, and watch a few things that I want to watch. Of course, last night I was on Eddie and Haley's Fans of Something channel, and we went and we walked through the wonderful film The Kid, the 1921 film from Charlie Chaplin. It's only 53 minutes, and really, really enjoyed that. Let's see who else we have on here. We have Adrian. Hello, Adrian. Hope you are doing well. All right. Hey, Mama Blu-ray. It says here, Mama Blu-ray says, good afternoon. If the movie sounds good, I'll blind buy. Awesome. Awesome. That is great. Yeah, blind buys are a topic that I have a lot of interest in because, and it really ties to my experience with the Criterion Collection. But this is the community post that I put out. I just said, hey, what do you, and actually, I didn't put on here the question. I have here to read more, but the question I asked was, hey, what do y'all want me to watch? Because I've got these titles in my backlog: The Lost Weekend, Shang-Chi, and The Legend of the Rings, The Fog 4K, Alligator 4K, and The Tales of Hoffman. And I asked which one of these do y'all want me to watch? And based on this poll, got over 100 votes in. Y'all want me to watch the Fog 4K. So I'll be watching this probably tonight. I'm probably going to pop this in the player tonight and watch it. I'm not sure if it'll be on the new TV over here with the stone fireplace that I showed you the other day earlier this week, or if it'll be in the basement. I'll have to see, but I will plan to watch this. This has been in my backlog for a few months, so we'll have to check that out. Adrian saying hello to Mama Blu-ray. Mama Blu-ray saying hello back to Adrian. That is awesome. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about blind buys. So I do plan to watch The Fog tonight, probably. If not tonight, maybe Sunday. But I think my viewing this weekend is going to be The Fog. I still got to watch episode 3 of The Last of Us. I have it downloaded on my phone here, and I gotta watch that. I'll probably watch that while I drop off my son for his workout. That'll be a good time to watch that. And I'll probably come home, do some other chores, and then feed the dog and watch and put on the fog and watch that. So that'll probably be my plan for this evening. But let's talk a little bit about blind buys and why I wanted to pop on here for a quick moment and just say that for me, I started collecting Criterion titles probably around 2013. And before I started collecting Criterion, which I had not really watched a lot of foreign films I'd watched mostly American US based films like action adventure type movies. So I didn't really have a lot of foreign films in my repertoire, so to speak. And the Criterion collection has really opened my horizons to a whole lot of films and directors and filmmakers that were it not for the Criterion collection, I would never have heard of. And I've had the experience of really being able to, have my eyes open to, cinema from around the world through this great label of films and directors that if it wasn't for the Criterion collection, I would never have heard of and would never have experienced. And so I do a lot of blind buying of Criterion collection titles. And for the most part, as well as other labels, but mostly Criterion. And for the most part, my experience has been really, really good. I can't say it's been 100% good, but there have been a couple of cases where I kind of find myself wishing I hadn't picked up the title, but about 95% of the time, 90 to 95% of the time, I'm very happy with my blind buys from Criterion. So I'm going to share with you a few Criterions that I blind bought that I just absolutely loved. That if it wasn't for the Criterion collection, I would never have discovered these films, never have heard of them, but I'm so glad that I did. So, but then I'll share with you a couple of blind buys that I regret from Criterion. But these are titles I probably need to rewatch. But let me go through these 6 titles that I blind bought and loved. So the first one is a film from Gott Spillman and it's spy number 502 and it's highly recommended. And this is a title I need to revisit. It's called Revanche and it's in German and it is an absolutely fantastic title from the Criterion collection. It might help if I remove the poll, but this is a fantastic title here from the Criterion collection. It is in German. It's an Austrian film it's from Gott Spillman, and it's a really nice, gripping thriller that involves a man who has a girlfriend, and she ends up, of course, something happens to her. But then there's also a police officer and his wife, and how their lives get intertangled. And it's just so interesting. Of course, the man's girlfriend of course ends up dying early in the film, has something to do with the police officer and his wife, and so it sets up a tale of potential revenge. And this film is so good. It's called Revanche. It is 122 minutes. It's from 2008 and it is from Gott Spillman, and it is an absolutely wonderful film. This is a title that I blind bought several years ago, and it's highly recommended in Criterion. Love it, love it. If you can get used to the subtitles, you will love it. Another title that I had not heard about, but I heard people raving about wanting to hear this title released from Criterion, and it was finally released last year was Cure. This is a really nice film. It is from director Kiyoshi Kurosawa, no relation to Akira Kurosawa. But this is a fantastic film. It's from 1997, and it is a mystery film as well. And it's I think it's about serial killers, I think, or a serial killing spree, so to speak. But it's a Japanese horror serial killing spree, and it is absolutely fantastic. So this is Cure, not The Cure, but Cure. And then a couple of titles from women directors that just blew me away last year that I would never have heard of were it not for the Criterion collection are these two right here. So Adoption here is from Hungarian director Marta Meseros, and she's directed like 60 plus films, a prolific director in Hungary. And this is a film from 1975, and it's in black and white. And it's the story of a young woman in her, or a woman in her 40s who wants to have a child. She talks about it with her boyfriend. He's not really up for it, but uh, she ends up meeting this young teenager, and their lives come together and they sort of build a bond, almost a mother daughter type bond. And it's just a fascinating film. It's from 1975, but it's shot in black and white and it just looks fantastic on this restoration. It's like a 4K digital restoration, just so good. The movie is great, and the special features talk a lot about Marta Meseros. So this was a huge discovery for me because, like I said, I had never heard of this film, had never heard of Marta Meseros. Who is that? If it wasn't for the Criterion Collection and being open to blind buys, I would never have discovered something like this. So this is a great one. And then Boat People from Anne Hui, director An Hui. Just a fantastic film. This is basically takes place in the aftermath of the Vietnam War and talks about Vietnamese refugees. And it is just a fascinating story. You learn, about that period of history, and you also learn about director An Hui. So these are two fantastic films, fantastic discoveries from wonderful women directors that I have to thank Criterion for, and just being open to, blind buying. When these were announced by Criterion 3 months before each came out. I had never heard of them, never heard of the directors, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try these, and I did, and I'm very happy that I did. Adoption and Boat People, highly recommended. And then, of course, Akira Kurosawa, no relation to Kiyoshi Kurosawa. This is Akira Kurosawa. This is an all-time classic, Rashomon. Wow, this is a great one, folks. This is one of the great all-time greats from Akira Kurosawa from 1950. This is one of the greatest films from this amazing director. And I discovered this by being open to blind buys from Criterion, and it's spine number 138. This is an amazing film. Of course, it's in Japanese. It's from 1950. It runs at 88 minutes, so it doesn't keep you long. It's a great watch, and I highly, highly recommend this one called Rashomon. So check that one out. And then, if you're a fan of Alfred Hitchcock films, this is one that you'll want to consider adding to your collection. It's a French film from director Henri Georges Clouzot, and it is a good one. It's called Diabolique. So this is a great one right here. It stars Simone Signoret as well as Vera Clouzot, who was the wife of the director Henri Georges Clouzot. Great film. This is Spine 35, and it comes in at 117 minutes. It's from 1955. It's a really nice Hitchcockian type film. You have a wife and a mistress who basically conspire to kill the husband of one of the women, and of course, no crime is ever perfect. You can never get away with a crime, so to speak. There's no such thing as the perfect murder. And this is a great film. This film actually had a remake in the 1990s that starred Sharon Stone and Chaz Palminteri that I highly recommend. But this is the original, and it is brilliant from Henri Georges Clouzot, Diabolique. So, so those are some of the blind buys that I would definitely recommend. These are titles that basically exemplify why I love blind buys from the Criterion Collection. You're looking at them right here. They're all amazing. They're all highly recommended. Definitely check these films out. So let me go to a couple of comments or another comment here from Traveling Man. I agree with you, James. Criterion blind buys are usually out of sight. I'd say the same with Shout Factory and Kino Lorber. Oh yeah, other blind buys I take based off of recommendations. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, and that for me has been my experience. I've gotten a lot of recommendations from this community, from people like you, from just people out there who have recommended titles. So when Criterion announces their titles for a given month, oftentimes I'll look at the list and I'll say, well, I don't know if I'm going to pick that one up. But then I'll hear recommendations from this community, and I say, you know what? Maybe I'll check it out. That happened to me with Onibaba when it was announced for release. I believe in July 2021. I believe it was announced for October 2021. And when Criterion announced it, I thought to myself, I never heard of that. I don't think I'm really interested in that. But then several people in the community recommended it highly. And so I decided, you know what, let me give it a try. And I picked it up and I loved it. That is from Oh gosh. The name of the director is escaping me, but he also did Kuroneko, and I absolutely love that film as well. Actually, while I'm on here, I'm gonna have to look that up real quick. Who did Onibaba? Oh, Kaneto Shindo. Yes, it came to me. My memory sometimes slips. So, director Kaneto Shindo directed Onibaba as well as Kuroneko, and I'm really glad that this community recommended Onibaba to me because it opened my eyes to another director and some amazing films. James, if you have the Criterion channel, they are showing three of Meserosa's other films. Good to know. See? Again, recommendations from the community here. I think Criterion is slipping through with their extras lately. Some releases have practically no good ones. Other labels are more consistent in that area. Yeah, I think it's an opportunity for Criterion to pick it up. A lot of their releases are just super packed, like the recent Wally release, Malcolm X release. Both of those 4K releases are fantastic. For the most part, I think they do well. But then, to your point, there are some releases that leave you thinking, I wish they had done a little bit more in the way of extras and supplements, because that's part of what makes Criterion is that you not only get to see the film in a great presentation, but you also get supplements that give you a greater context of why this film is so important and why it's included in the collection, and why people esteem it highly, so to speak. So that's a good point. All right, let me just share with you real quickly a couple of criterions that I bought years ago that I watched them. I've only watched these one time, and I need to give these a rewatch because I think if I do, I might appreciate these more. But these are examples of Criterion watches that didn't really speak to me as well, and that I kind of regret buying. But I need to give them another chance before I decide to maybe sell these or give these away. So the first is spy number 452, The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. So this is a 1965 film. It's based on the best-selling novel by John le Carre. It's about a Cold War spy. And I don't know if I might have been just sleepy when I was watching this one. This one just didn't speak to me as well, and I think I need to revisit this film. It stars Richard Burton, and I have a feeling if I gave this one another chance, I might like this one. But let me know in the comment section if whether you're on this stream or if you're watching this on replay, if you like this one. I may have to give this one a re-watch. So this is what the inside looks like. Again, this one I didn't dig it at first. Didn't dig it, So this falls in that 5% of maybe I should have bought something else, but I will give it another shot before I make that final conclusion. The Spy Who Came In From the Cold, spy number 452. The second one is a film that a lot of people speak really highly of. Now, this is one that's now out of print. It's Spine 409, and it's from director Terrence Malick, and it stars Richard Gere, and it is Days of Heaven. Now, I think a lot of people are going to have a lot to say about this one because this one is loved by a lot of people. And again, I think, I may not have been in the right mindset when I was watching this one, but this one didn't really hit me at first. But I have a feeling if I give it a chance, it's been several years since I popped this in the player. I probably need to give it another spin to, come to a final opinion on this one. This is 1978, 94 minutes. And of course, it's Terrence Malick. And it says here in the back, Terrence Malick has created some of the most visually arresting films of the 20th century in its glorious period tragedy, Days of Heaven, featuring Oscar-winning cinematography by Nestor Alejandro, stands out among them. It's basically a period piece. It says in 1910, a Chicago steel worker accidentally kills his supervisor, and he and his girlfriend, Brooke Adams, and his little sister, Linda Mance, flee to the Texas Panhandle, and so forth and so on. So this is one I probably need to revisit. I think I might have been half asleep when I watched it, and I need to give it a revisit. This is one I definitely will not give away or give away because this is out of print now. So I think the value of this release is going to go up, but it's spy number 409. So those are examples of blind buys that initially did not work well for me, but I'm going to give them another chance. So sometime this year, I'm going to pop them in a player again, and I'll probably come back on here and let you know whether or not they go from this, whether they go from this to this or they go all the way down here. So I'll let you know. So let me see what people have to say. I agree about this about the recent extras on Criterion. Decision to Leave was a masterpiece and a first day buy. Was hoping Criterion would have put out the release potential movie of the year. Okay. Then hi, James Neil. Hey Neil. The two Shindo movies are great for a very different film from Shindo. I love The Naked Island. See, that's one that's in my backlog that I need to watch. I need to watch that one. I have The Naked Island. Yep. So I need to watch that one, Neil. So Michael says, I really want the 4K of three colors. Yes, but even at half off, 65 bucks for no new features or packaging is too much. As for Naked Island, Neil, I found the first half very boring, but second half was good. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Yeah, the three colors, I do plan on picking up the three colors trilogy. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to get it on the flash sale. I probably will pick it up on the flash sale. As opposed to waiting until July. But that's definitely on my radar. As far as upcoming reviews in this channel, I'm planning to review Romeo and Juliet that's coming out on Blu-ray on Valentine's Day, as well as the new 4K upgrade for Dazed and Confused. So that'll be coming up on the channel in the month of February. So be on the lookout for that. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to share. Yeah, I will be watching based on your input in this community. I'll be planning to watch The Fog tonight. So be on the lookout for I may share some thoughts on this 4K release. Heard some pretty good things about this movie. Never seen it before, so looking forward to it. Has a really nice looking cast. I mean, you have Adrian Barbeau, Jamie Lee Curtis, Tom Atkins, Janet Leigh, Hal Holbrook. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this one out. I've had this for months. It's been in my backlog. It's time to pop it in the player. So I am looking forward to that. And then I'm going to watch Last of Us episode 4 on Sunday. And I do plan to do a live stream later in the month, sort of giving a recap, a mid-season report of what I think about the Last of Us once we get through those first 5 episodes and sort of do a mid-season. What do I think of the season so far? Like I said in a recent live stream, I played the PlayStation games. They are phenomenal. And I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes of this series on HBO Max. And they've really almost put me back into that feeling playing the game. It's just really well executed. And I think the cast is doing a really good job. And I think the writing is good. So far, so good. I still need to watch episode 3 on my phone. I'll probably watch that while my son's doing his little workout thing. Um, but we shall see. But anyway, thanks for those who were able to join. I'll go through a few more comments and then get on with the rest of Saturday. But just thought I'd pop on here for a few minutes as a little surprise impromptu live stream and wish everybody is I'm hoping everybody is having a great Saturday. So let's see. Scap says, I think that Criterion needs to make a deal with Apple Plus to release some of their movies on down the road. I think a perfect example would be Macbeth with Denzel. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. We'll see what happens. I mean, Laren says, "Hey James, so glad you're watching The Fog. I voted for it. Oh, awesome. Yes. Well, thank you. Well, I'll be watching it. Yes, congrats on winning the CFB championship again, even though you are an SEC rival. Okay, Michael, who's your team? This is the 2021 championship hat right here. I'm not wearing it at the moment. And then I got my 2022 championship hat. I tell you what, as a Georgia Bulldog fan, I feel like I feel like many of us are still in a bit of a fog, because our last championship before the 2021 was 1980. So we had heard so many jokes about, hey, it's been 40 years since y'all have won a championship, and we had gone so long without winning a national championship. So all of a sudden, going back to back. I mean, it's insane. You think about. I was at the parade a few weeks ago, and you see this perfect 15-0 record. Georgia's back-to-back national champions. So just absolutely loving it. So as a Georgia fan, I'm thankful and still just processing it and just getting my head wrapped around the idea. Okay, we just won the national championship last year. I'm still getting used to that. And then the reality that we won it again? Are you kidding me? you know. So but yeah, Michael, let me know who your team is. Let's see. Oh, Kentucky. Yes, yes. I think y'all have a good coach. Mark Stoops is a good coach. But anyway, Y'all, thanks for joining this afternoon. Hope y'all have a great rest of your Saturday. Let me know in the comment section below. For those of you who are catching this on replay, what is your thoughts on blind buys? Are you a blind buyer? Do you like to blind buy titles? Or are you someone that just says, you know what? I don't want to take a chance on buying anything I don't know anything about. I like to focus on movies that I've seen. Or are you someone like me who likes to discover, new directors, new filmmakers? Let me know kind of where you fall in that spectrum in the comments section. And also let me know what you plan on watching on this weekend. And Laren, hey, cool to catch you live. Have a good day, man. You as well. Adam saying hello. Hope you all have an awesome Saturday. Hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing The Fog. Looking forward to seeing Last of Us episode 4. And who knows, whatever else I get into. But hope y'all have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll look to see you next time at the movies. Peace. Have a great one, everybody.